So we've been hinting throughout the show. It looks like our theme for this episode is need. Now our next feature is Joansu Jewelry, and her line was born out of the combination of need, determination, and inspiration. Let's take a look at Joansu Jewelry. Born to Ghanaian parents, Adjoa Acquah grew up in Austria. She is a lawyer by profession, but her creative juices pushed her to create and design ornaments that form part of almost everyone's wardrobe. So why jewelry?
I've always loved jewelry. I didn't think I would go into design, so I don't have that romantic story of I always knew I was going to be a designer. I just always loved jewelry. And I started taking courses, learning to design, learning to make about 5 years ago. And it was really for a selfish reason. I wanted to just make pieces that I couldn't find. And started doing that, and it sort of snowballed into this business idea. And a lot of my whole concept around Joansu is around travel, which is my other big passion. And I somehow managed to merge the two. So all of the pieces are actually inspired by travel, inspired by my encounters with people, with cultures, etc. And I think it was just that stage in my life that I managed to pull my two big loves into one concept. And so Joansu is it's all jewelry, but it's always inspired by travel.
Joansu Jewelry is a love affair between Adjoa's two passions, jewelry and travel. Adjoa will tell you each collection is inspired by life stories, memories, and magical encounters.
So Joansu is inspired by movement because travel is movement, and I think a lot of the designs, if you look at my designs, it's very fluid, lots of lines, it's not blocky, and so that's what I mean by movement. But travel is movement, it's that journey, it's that searching, etc.
And Adjoa has enough confidence in the exclusivity of her Africanista Conversations modern glamorous collection to feel there is no real competition to her market.
Comparing the differences between local and international competition. Local competition, I think my pieces are very different from other jewelry designers here. I think our market is still growing, so there's still a lot of room for designers, whether it be jewelry, shoes, clothes. It's exciting for Ghana. I mean, there are amazing designers out there. So in terms of competition, I don't think I have direct competition. Just looking at the jewelry market, direct competition locally, because my pieces are just different, especially the Africanista Conversations, which is that combination of resin and Ankara or wax print material. I don't have a competitor out in the market. Looking at international competition, there are a lot of high-end designers using resin more and more, but again, not combining necessarily resin with the African print material. And if you look at my other collections, which are precious metals, semi-precious stones, and precious stones, yes, there is a link. I mean, if you have a silver ring, so that, for example, my Cape Town collection ring, it's a silver ring with a topaz stone. So in that sense, yes, you'll have international competitors also using the same type of material. But, to be honest, I think jewelry is very emotive, and I think I produce on a limited edition basis anyway. I'm not producing in competition with the big, sort of big companies of the world, and it's emotive. So if you like a piece, you buy it, and that's how women are. I think there's room for everyone. So I don't see this. I think it's difficult to say there's a competition. There's always competition, but more so internationally, just because there are a lot more designers in London. I'm still a baby designer. I only launched last year, so I'm still working through all of that. But you're absolutely right. I think as a jewelry designer, working on the catwalk it's almost impossible. You're always drowned by dresses. I think I'll try and work more with, say, swimsuit labels, because there's less is more for my brand. But I have done a few fashion shows, and I find that they don't work It's great for the collaboration, and so for specific designers, I will still do that. But it is difficult. I think your jewelry gets lost within the dresses, and that's what a catwalk is for. The catwalk is really to showcase the dress. I would love to have a fashion show where you are just showcasing jewelry pieces, and you've got a couple of high-end designers who can do that and get away with it. But at the moment, I think it works best where you have sort of installations where people can come and see and touch, etc., and that works better for jewelry.
So where can one find Joansu jewelry? She currently stocks her products in Vienna, but not to worry, you Ghanaian jewelry lovers out there, you can also find her jewelry at the Christy Brown Boutique in Osu.
Christy Brown, I met last year through a mutual friend, a lady who we call our mentor. And she's a Ghanaian lady who lives in Nigeria, and introduced myself and Adjoa Acquah, who's a designer of mosaic shoes, to Christy Brown. And her thing was, this is our auntie, our mentor. Her thing was, I want you three Ghanaian girls to collaborate and do something, because there's so much passion, there's so much creativity in Ghana. And if you look at the fashion industry at the moment, the West African fashion industry, it is dominated by Nigeria. Which isn't a bad thing. They've got amazing designers, but her thing was really to try and get us to collaborate and to build each other up. Nigerian designers have been doing this for a long time. They're a bigger population than Ghana, so they are naturally going to have more designers than we do. And they, again, built each other up. They've got their fashion weeks. We're starting our own fashion week this year. It's all exciting for Ghanaians at the moment. Nigerians also have more capital. They've got more spending power. So my price points, especially if you look at the sort of silver and gold jewelry, they're quite high, but they're high because it's silver and gold and it's semi-precious stones and it's limited edition.
Even though she's a busy lawyer, Adjoa manages to have time for her jewelry works.
I'm very conscious. I'm very time management. That's what I picked up on my Austria days. Very, very time management. So I do put aside, certain hours in the day to do jewelry work. And then on the weekends, I'll put aside, say out of every month, the whole weekend that is just dedicated to my jewelry. So that's doing the fun things like designing, which is obviously easy to fit in when I'm traveling on the train, on the plane, I design. Obviously, grow the brand, keep building up my customer base. It's really about having a strong customer base in this industry, especially when you're looking at limited edition pieces. It's not mass produced, so you're trying to find a very small, not small, but a very tight group of customers that keep coming back, that keep following you season after season. I'm also launching my first capsule collection for men next Friday, so it'll be on the website from the 15th of June, which is the Friday, I think. And so again, hoping to have the same sort of momentum that I've had with women, with men as well. And so just build up a strong brand that's authentic, that stays true to what it is, that has more involvement locally in Ghana, outsourcing some of my production to Ghana. This one is the butterflies. Butterflies are my favorite animals in the world, so it's really important for me to have in my first collection a piece that was dedicated to the butterflies. So that's butterfly, and it's part of the Africanista Conversations collection. And Africanista Conversations are based on African print material and resin. So in this case, the first collection was all Ghanaian inspired. And then one of my favorite pieces is this ring, which is in the sterling silver, but also comes in pure gold if you can afford it, otherwise 18 karat gold plate. And this collection is the Cape Town collection, and it's inspired by Cape Town. And I'm not sure if it's clear, but it's just the dramatic, and what I love about Cape Town is just the way, it's just such a dramatic city. So you have these mountains that just collapse into the sea, and just sitting there having drinks, just looking at over, the sea at Camps Bay is where this came into being. So the topaz ring it's almost as if it's held, very structural piece, but it's held by the ring, and it's just that reminiscent of the mountains and just the dramatic memories of that city. I think that the hardest thing is probably just you know, the designer, especially because I didn't come from a creative background. It's very hard to convince yourself that you can. So that, I would say, is the difficulty in establishing. Just getting over your own fears that you can do it, or do I have enough time, I work, and I didn't go to XYZ design school, and all of that sort of stuff. The difficulties in maintaining the brand, I think, and I don't know what other designers said, but for me as a young designer, it's very important for me to control my brand. So I'm very cautious about what I outsource to other people. And I'm talking about things like marketing my brand, you know, who speaks best about my brand? I do. Doing my legals, doing my financials, etc. And so that's difficult because you're one person and it can be a little bit overwhelming. And I think you just have to get to an equilibrium doing all of that. I definitely do want to move back to Ghana. It's just a question of in what capacity, when, how, but it's definitely on the agenda. My advice to young people, aspiring designers, is to just go for it. I think if you've got a passion, a creative stream, you know, something that you want to share, everyone's so different. And don't worry about, oh, well, this person has just launched their dresses and this person's doing jewelry. You know, it doesn't matter because we're all so different, and the way you express that creative thing that you have in your inner is going to be completely different from somebody else. Unless, of course, you're copying them, in which case, you know, that's crap. But if you're pure and you're authentic to your creative self, just go for it.
Excellent. I really enjoyed interviewing her.
Yeah.
She's like
She's
young, inspirational, she's fun, and she's doing something with her life.
Definitely.
What did you think of her launch?
I loved her launch. I actually went by there. It's at Christy Brown, who obviously also sponsors us with her stuff. And her stuff is beautiful. It's the neck pieces, and her favorite piece, as we saw, was this beautiful earring, which was like a moon, which was based on her travels in Paris and walking down the Champs-Élysées or wherever she went.
That's funny because she told me her favorite piece was her ring on her hand.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No, but what her favorite piece was in the shop. I think that's what happened because I was asking her about that. No, it was phenomenal.
I thought she had a trick going on because all her jewelry, you know, designers, they love everything they design.
Of course.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
I mean, she's in Christy Brown's shop. You can find Joansu jewelry products, and it's...
Yeah, and let us know what you think about it. If you like it, if you don't like it so much, just give us your feedback on her jewelry. She'd also very much appreciate it.
On our website, www.thebeboldshow.com, proudly powered by Dream Oval.
Oh yes, Dream Oval. Now, Crystal, we are about to go for a small break, but when we come back, we will be looking at a day in the life of a lawyer. Be back.
Hi, my name is Adjoa Acquah. I'm the designer behind the brand Joansu, which is a limited jewelry line inspired by travel. And I'm also a lawyer and a banker. So my advice to young people is just go for it. Life is short, you know, do whatever you want to do, express yourself. Don't worry about fitting in, just do what you have to do and be bold.